Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Tapatakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Ancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I welcome all of you for today's early morning session. Sādhu Prakārāḥ. This is the third session. For someone it is early morning, for someone is night, and someone is afternoon, for someone it is, I don't know, it's midnight. So that means everyone is not in the one mode actually. One mode means generally morning time is in goodness, evening time like in the ignorance. That means tamoguna prabhava. That means influence of tamoguna is more. In the time of morning, so sattuguna influence is more. And in the afternoon, rajaguna influence is more. That means in the class, we are influenced by the various modes. Okay. Yesterday, we stopped at some place. So we were discussing, main point is sadhus, yes, devotees. So in the material body, and they are in the material body, they might be renounced all the sense objects, but still, so they might be having some hidden, some kind of impurities. So these impurities, because of these impurities, they are not on same level actually. They can be classified. And we want to see classification of devotees based upon the influence of those impurities. So that's why so we are opening the new prakarana. That means Jiva Goswami is opening new prakarana. So best is, yes, if we got the opportunity to associate those devotees who got the Parshad Deha and Premadhikyam, that means the totality of the love is in extreme. And also not having any impurities. If such a devotee association is possible, that's well and good. That's the best one. But we don't, that means, see there all the time, Prapta Parshad Deha, that means who got the, so Parshad Deha, so availability of their association is not so easy. So na bhavanti. So especially, so Rishabhadev is saying two types of devotees, two types of sadhus. In those, so whomever he is indicating, those are not the Prapta Parshad Deha. So he is discussing about those sadhus who are still in the material body. Of course, they might have renounced some material sense objects, but still they have some kind of impurities. So that's why we want to see their classes, how they are classified. So that's why we are taking the context from 11th canto, 2nd chapter. There, so we are seeing Nimi is asking question. Same, whatever, it is very appropriate for our discussion. Nimi is also is asking the question about the classes of devotees based upon, so those classes are based upon the nature, the swabhava, that means manasalinga, that means their consciousness or mental state. So based upon that, based upon their activities, and also based upon their speech, so we can he is asking to classify devotees. Like we see, Arjuna also asked Sthita Prajna. So how to identify Sthita Prajna? So based upon his language, based upon his sitting and roaming. Sitting, roaming means controlling his senses and releasing his senses. So similarly here, he is asking what are the different symptoms which are based upon of the symptoms of the devotee, bhagavata, based upon mental, bodily, that means kaika, that means bodily activities, and based upon their speech. So for this, Kavi is going to answer. And here one point will come, one question. Why Kavi described the various symptoms of a devotee, a Bhagavat, in 39, 40, 41. But why he is asking again? Because whatever the symptoms, linga means symptom, whatever the symptoms are described by the Kavi, so based upon those symptoms, how to know Uttama, Madhyama, and so on, classes of devotees. That's the point actually. In this 11.2.39, 40, 41, various symptoms of Bhagavat are described. We also read. Now Nimi is asking, so he is asking devotee or Bhagavat. Bhagavat's mental, bodily, and Bhagavat's symptoms. Based on mind, body, and speech. Here, body means bodily activities. Why he is asking? Because the intention of Nimi is what? Whatever the symptoms are said by Kavi, so based on those symptoms, based on the symptoms which are said by Kavi, how to categorize devotees as Uttama, Madhyama, and Kanishta. So this is the intention actually. Kavi didn't classify actually. He gave generally symptoms of the Bhagavat. Bhagavat means devotee. But the point is now how to classify based upon those said symptoms as Uttama, Madhyama, and Kanishta. That he wants. So for that, yes, he asked this question. Then Kavi is replying. What are those symptoms? You all know. Sometimes devotees dances, cries, sings, roams around without any any kind of shame he never feel, and keep on singing the Lord's glories, and he will be seeing every object move, animated and unanimated objects as the shelter of the Lord or otherwise body of the Lord. And because of that, then immediately there he's paying obeisances. So these kind of symptoms, so we heard from the Kavi, these are the symptoms of the devotee, like that. But now based upon those symptoms, how to classify Uttama, Madhyama, and Kanishta. So that we have to see. So for that, Havi is replying. So what is our goal actually? So our goal is, we want to know, so devotees categories. who are in the material body. Who are in material body might be renounced. They might be renounced from the externally, if you can say, definitely they might be renounced. They might have renounced otherwise. They might have renounced the material objects. But have some impurities. Not impurities, some samskaras. Here, one important thing. Here, samskaras means impurity, you cannot say immediately, because they have. So here the Jiva Goswami using the word samskaras means, so some, generally they are not bad actually. So after coming to the Madhyama platform, they never do any sinful activities. So the samskaras, especially these, like welfare of the living entities and so on, so such a samskaras. So especially that's why the word samskaras are used. Some hidden samskaras are there because of this. So they are not on the equal level because of the lack of purification. So then Kavi is saying, first and foremost, Tatra Uttaram Havirvacha सर्वभूतेषु यः पश्येत् भगवद्भावमात्मनः भूतानि भगवत्यात्मन्येषा भागवतोत्तमः. So सर्वभूतेषु यः पश्येत् भगवद्भावमात्मनः भूतानि भगवत्यात्मन्येषा भागवतोत्तमः. So who is the Bhagavatottama? He is describing here. So translation of this sloka. So the most advanced devotees sees within everything the soul of all souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Consequently, he sees systematically everything in relation to the Supreme Lord and understand that everything that exists is is eternally situated within the Lord. This is the translation. Now we'll try to see the Jiva Goswami's analyzation. So here he is saying tatra tattad anubhava dvaravagamyena manasalingena bhagavatam lakshayati. Tattad anubhava. Anubhava or anubhava? Actually, here anubhava we are going to take actually. Anubhava. Anubhava. Sorry, tattad anubhava actually. Anubhava we are going to take. Anubhava. So what is anubhava? Vibhava, anubhava, sthayi bhava, sanchari bhava. These are the different bhavas. So these are all anubhavas, anubhava, vibhava. These are all different components of the rasa. They are the components of the rasa. And by mixing all these, rasa is produced. Like if you mix water, rasna powder, sugar, all, then there is a syrup is created. Rasa is created. And you have to mix all these ingredients in a appropriate portion. Then the tasteful rasna, that means rasa, will be prepared. Similarly, Prema is also rasa actually. In that rasa, where are the rasa means it needs components. What are those components? Vibhava, anubhava, sthayi bhava, sanchari bhava, and so on. So these has to be mixed. So in this one is anubhava. So especially this is the anubhava you can see where in the stage of prema. And you can see anubhava in a little portion in the stage of bhava stage. Now we are discussing about the Uttama Bhaktas who are in the prema stage. So that's a anubhava. Anubhava means what? Those are the symptoms actually, external symptoms. So example, who are in the prema stage, their heart is so soft. Because of the prema towards the Lord, their heart is melted like anything. And that is melted and that will come in the form of the drops. That means from the eyes, it will come in the form of the drops. That means they cry. And also, there are the various other symptoms. Like they will be shouting, trembling, their hair on the body is standing, and like this. And sometimes they will be fainted actually. That means one of the stages is the Ashtasattviki bhavas. So samadhi, that means they will be fainted and just falling on the ground. So like this, there are the various anubhavas. These anubhavas are the anubhava avagamyena. By using these anubhavas, we are able to understand. Avagamanam means understanding. So by using anubhavas, understanding what? Understanding their mental condition, their mental state. That means manasa lingas. Mental state means manasa lingas. That means their consciousness. We are trying to understand their consciousness. That means Uttama Bhakta, what kind of mental setup he is having? So we want to understand this. How can one know this? So Uttama Bhakta's mental state, by seeing his anubhavas, whatever anubhavas he is manifesting. Based upon that, we are able to understand his mental status. And we are using those that means that mental status as the indicator to classify him as Uttama Bhakta. You are understanding? So that's the point. So Manasalingena Mahabhagavatam Lakshayati. That means based upon their mental state or based upon their consciousness. Mental state means you can take consciousness. Based upon their consciousness level, are the symptoms of their consciousness. Based upon the symptoms which are, based upon the consciousness, we are trying to classify him as Uttama Bhakta. But this consciousness state, how can you understand? By using the anubhavas, whatever he is manifesting. So that's the point he is saying, Tattad anubhava dvara. Anubhava dvara. Actually, Samacharyas are taking anubhava, and here anubhava is given. If you take anubhava also, you can justify like this: anubhava or anubhava. Anubhava is a one thing. By using those anubhavas, you can understand his mental consciousness. Or otherwise, so anubhava dwara avagamyana means Uttamadhikari's consciousness level can be understood by the experience. By the experience. Like that also you can take. By the experiencing. So that means another experienced Uttama Bhakta can say he is Uttama Bhakta. That is the one meaning. But here best meaning is Tattad Anubhava Dwara Avagamyana. Tattad Anubhava. Tattad means whatever the Kavi is saying the lot of, that means crying, so and so, is paying obeisances to the all the that means non-living and living entities. So these are all anubhavas. And those anubhavas are used to understand the consciousness level of that bhagavata. So based upon that, so here Havi is saying what kind of consciousness level Uttam Bhagavat is having. Let us see, he is saying what kind of mental, there is consciousness level or mental state, what he is having. Sarva bhuteshu yah pashyet bhagavat bhavam atmanah bhutani bhagavatyatmaniyeshu bhagavatottamah. So here, sarva bhuteshu yah pashyet bhagavat bhavam. In all the living entities, he is seeing the one who sees the bhagavat bhavam. Sees means one who experiences. So that is the meaning of first line. Here, one point we should remember, Nimi is asking, based upon the description whatever Kavi gave, so using those lingas, so how to classify Uttama, Madhyama and Kanishta? He asked that question. So that's why Havi is also keeping those symptoms whatever are said by the Kavi, and based upon that, so he is classifying the devotees. So that's why now there is a relationship between the descriptions given by the Kavi and the Havi. Now here, that means what kind of symptoms, what kind of symptoms which are told by the Kavi are having the connection with the classification of this Uttama Bhakta, that we have to see. So Kavi, what he said, evam rataha swapriyanam swapriya nama kirtya jatanurago drutachitta uchchaihi iti Sri Kavivakyoktaritya yaschittadravahasa rodanudyanubhavakanuragavasya vashatvat kham vayu agnim ityadi tadukta prakareneva chetana achetaneshu sarvabhuteshu atmanah bhagavat bhavam atmabhishto yah bhagavad avirbhavah tameva ityartah pashyedar bhavati. Now 40, that means whatever Kavi said, 40 and 41 we are taking. So in the 40 Kavi said, if you see 11th canto, so 40th sloka, second chapter, evam swapriya nama kirtya. These Uttama Bhaktas, whenever they sing, that means they are already their heart is so soft. Whenever they sing the holy name, so anuraga, jata anuragaha, drutachitta uchchaihi, hasati, rodati, rauti. So they sing the Lord's names and immediately there is a wave. wave towards, that means wave of the attraction towards the Lord. And because of that wave, jata anuragaha druta chitta uchchaihi. Then what they will do? With loudly they will smile. The smiling is the what? Is the anubhava actually. And rodati, he cries. Rauti, he shouts. Gayati, that means he sing. Unmadavat nrityati, and he dances like a madman. These are all manifesting. So externally, that's why these are all known as anubhavas. Out of the love in the heart, whatever the symptoms are manifesting externally, those are all known as anubhavas. Using these anubhavas, we are understanding his mental state. And based upon that mental state, we are classifying him as Uttama Bhakta. And what else? One more thing, Kavi said, you see, so one point, why he is smiling, crying, and all this? Because anubhavaka. So Rodana, I hear it is clearly. So you can see here Jiva Goswami is clarifying anubhavaka. Anubhavaka anuraga vashyatvat. So because in his heart, that is a mental state. In his heart, there is a lot of, that means anuraga. Anuraga means a lot of attraction. The love, deep love. Anuraga means raga. Raga means a deep love for the Lord. That's why. So these symptoms are so manifested. These symptoms are manifested. So yat chittadrava hasaroda. These are the anubhavas. Okay. Those are showing that his deep love for the Lord. You and me, we cry whenever we sing. Anytime we get tears in our eyes, it is not possible actually. Till we think that Lord is there or not. Am I going in a right path or not? We think like this. Still, sometimes this kind of doubt may come. Or otherwise, even if that is over, lot of lust is there in the heart. Because of this, our heart is so cruel actually. That means so strong. And we have a lot of offenses towards the devotees. And that's why heart became so strong actually. And not so simple actually, very complex. A very hard. And because of this hardness, that is a mental state actually. That is a mental state means consciousness state. The state of consciousness. Because of that, even if we hear and we sing the holy name, we don't manifest this kind of symptoms. So like crying and shouting, dancing like a madman. These are not possible. Because heart is not soft. But in the case of Uttam Bhakta, his heart is so soft. Chitta, that means here what is that? Druta chitta. Chitta is liquidified. It's not soft also. It became, that means even further. So softness means it's not necessary to flow. Now even further, it became a liquid actually. And started flowing. And it is coming out of eyes in the form of the tears. And that is showing his deep attachment for the love. And that is the symptom actually. That is the symptom of, Uttama Bhakta. That means we can understand where we are. Very far. That means thousands and millions of kilometers away from this kind of state. That means this kind of class of devotees. So next, So yeah, expert devotees can identify this. Some may do false crying. That means ratya bhasa. Or otherwise, this prema abhasa. That means chaya abhasa. And Swarati abhasa is abhasa is a, is in is a, that means sometimes people may manifest some kind of symptoms. So they might be in the association of pure devotee, and whatever the rati they have, prema they have towards the Lord, and that may be reflecting this associating devotee. And for the time being, we may see some kind of these symptoms. But after that, if they do some offense or something, they will be disappearing. So that is not original action. That's just a reflection or otherwise shadow. So anyway, but these are, they are having the constantly manifesting this. And yes, so how we can come to know? We are in the deep ignorance, and also we are in the deep attachment to the material things. Yes, a Madhyama Bhakta can know this kind of Uttama Bhaktas. He can categorize, he can understand. And that Sadhu can say, this is the Uttama Bhakta. And Sadhu Vakya is the Pramana for us. Even we are in the Kanishta, how we come to know? Yesterday a question is asked by the devotees. How we can come to know? Of course, we are not experienced of those symptoms, and that's why we are not able to identify. But we have ears, na? And there is a Pramanika Parampara also is there. And Sadhu also is there in the society. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. And Sadhu can identify. And Sadhu Vakya is having is the defectless, is a Pramana of the, so identifying for identify or for knowing about this kind of Uttama Bhakti. So anyway, Prabhu, we don't know anyone. So anyway, whatever we do, we'll do. What is this? This is not the logic actually. You are not knowing what is the best mobile, but you are hearing from someone. Na? These are the features are the best. Otherwise, you are the manufacturer and you are knowing all the manufacturing details and quality. Then only you are identifying. You are manufacturing expert. Huh? Then only you are able to know the mobile is the good one. How you are coming to know? So next, what further symptom? That means how we can understand his mental state or otherwise consciousness level. Kam mano, what Kavi is saying, Kam vayu magni salilam mahim cha jyotim shi sattvani disho drumadin saris samudrascha hare shariram yat kincha bhutam pranamet ananyaha. Kavi is saying in the 41, this description also we are using. So here to identify, that means Havi is using that, and he is saying based upon that, whoever is manifesting that symptom, whatever said by the Kavi, and he is nothing but so Uttama Bhakta, Bhagavatottama. So what he said, what is the meaning of this? The meaning is Kham Vayu Agni Salilam Mahimcha. That means Prithvi, Jal. So Agni, Vayu or Akash. In सबको, so Disha, all the directions. Jyotimshi means all the stars, everything. Drumadin, even all the trees. Sarit means all the rivers. Samudra means oceans. These are all Hare Sariram. So these are all the body of the Hari. And immediately seeing these are all as the body of the Hari and Pranamed, and he is paying obeisances. You might be wondering, why he is paying obeisances to that stone? And why he is paying obeisances suddenly to that animal? So, because he is seeing, And sometimes he may not pay obeisances also, because he is in the another swing actually. He is maybe is meditating on the Lord and he is in the another Leela, and he forgot where he is also. Who is in front? Like example, Lord Shiva. He is a Vaishnavana Metha Shambhu, Bhagavatottama. So he doesn't know. Actually, Daksha came into that assembly because he's meditating on the Lord in his heart. So that is a symptom actually. Is very much, that means whatever here Havi is saying, that symptom you can see in the Lord Shiva. And he forgot. He forgot to stand up. And but materialistic people, what they think, who are not devotees, who didn't, at least you didn't hear. If we don't hear this, the symptom of the Uttama Bhakta, and we also commit offense like Daksha. Why we have to hear the symptoms of the Uttama Bhakta? Because not to misunderstand them. And also at least to aspire and, if possible, to associate. Otherwise, then how will you come to know? So, ityadi tadudukta prakarena chetan achetaneshu sarva bhuteshu. So he is paying obeisances. Who is saying? Kavi is saying he will pay obeisances to all these objects. This may be living or non-living. But here, based upon that, Havi is saying, if you see in the sloka, sarva bhuteshu means all living and non-living, in all the entities. What he will say here, Havi is saying he will experience. Pashyat means experience. Havi will, so this Uttam Bhakta will experience what? Bhagavad bhavam. Atmanaha bhagavad bhavam. This is the important thing. Atmanaha bhagavad bhavam means Atma abhishtah yah bhagavad avirbhavah tameva ityardaha. Actually, what he is seeing, this Uttama Bhakta in those all the objects, he is seeing Atmanaha Bhagavad Bhava means whatever his Ishta form of the Lord. Atmanaha Abhishtaha Bhagavad Avirbhavaha. Lord is having many kinds of manifestations in the form of, one is the original form, that is a Krishna and Balarama. So Rama, so Vishnu, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, Vamana, so and so. There are these several, so hundreds of forms are there. And this Uttama Bhakta might be so having the one, that means he might be doing the upasana to the one form of among them, one among them. Then he will be seeing that form in those all the living entities. You should not say that necessarily he is seeing only Krishna. Already we discussed. Prema, the nature of the prema, totality of the prema is divided into two ways. You have the two factors to decide totality. One is quantity, another is quality. Another nature. Nature. So that nature is what? Bhajaniyasya bhajataha. Bhajaniyaha. So the worshipable form can be anything actually among the Lord's different manifestations. And he can have prema towards that. So that's why here, whatever the Abhishta form, that only he will see everywhere. If he is a worshipper of a Narsingha Bhagavan and he reached the prema stage towards the Narsingha, as a Dasya, he can reach to the Dasya prema. Prema means not that you should not think that only Madhurya. Prema means even prema can be in the many rasas, many folds. Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. So that's a ripened stage of the devotion is nothing but the prema. So that can be having the many kinds of relationships with the Lord. So through the Dasya also you can have prema. So one might be worshipping the Narsingha Bhagavan and he will be seeing Narasimha everywhere, like Prahlad Maharaj. And one might be seeing the Rama everywhere. And immediately he will, so it's the body of the Lord, this object, and immediately pay obeisances to that. And that means you cannot find any kind of, that means a normal behavior actually. So-called social village, that means here it is said that without any lajja, that means vilajjaha vicharet asangaha, vilajjaha. He doesn't have any kind of social lajja. That means lajja means any shame. I am paying obeisances, what people will think. Even in the temple, we don't pay obeisances. We feel ourselves so proud. हाँ तो सुबह किया, अभी दोपहर में कौन करेंगे? This is the thing actually. Deity form actually. Here Lord is in the form of deity actually. They directly. And still we are not. But here he is seeing the normal objects, and in that also he is seeing his stuff form. That is the meaning. Sarva bhuteshu yaha pashyet. That means the one, yaha means the one who see in every living entity. So atmanaha bhagavat bhavam. That means so the form which he likes. Ataha. Next, what else? Next, second line. Come to the second line. Ataha tani cha bhutani atmani swachitte spurati yaha Bhagavan tasminneva tadashritattvena eva anubhavati esha bhagavatottama bhavati. What is the meaning of this second line? The meaning of second line is like this. He, that means in his Atmani, he should come from Atmani, that means in his heart, in his own heart.
कहाँ? ऊपर ही. हाँ, चेतन बोल लीजिए, धोती कुर्ता आप ले जाइए, बस आपकी जिम्मेदारी है, पर बाद में लेना इन लोगों से, ठीक है ना?
So in his heart, so he experiences, in his heart he experiences what way he experiences? So Bhagavan, he experiences a Lord, and who is the shelter for all those living entities. That is also happening. He is seeing in his heart, Lord as what? As the shelter for all those living entities. That means otherwise, you can take like this. He is seeing all these living entities as sheltered in the Lord. Okay, it is clear. He is seeing all the living entities which are sheltered in the Lord. In that way, he is seeing. And in all the living entities, he is seeing the Lord. And also in his own heart, he is seeing all the living entities. How he is seeing? As independently he is seeing. He is not seeing living entities as independently. He is seeing all the living entities. Tad ashritattvena. Bhagavati ashritattvena. That means they all sheltered in Lord. In that way they are experiencing. He is experiencing. Like example, so Jada Bharat actually. He is seeing the Lord in every living entity. He is one more example actually. He is a Uttama Bhakta. And that's why he is, while walking, Rahugana's palanquin, so he was holding one side, and the speed, the velocity, or the speed of the others is another range, and his speed is very low. Because of that, all the time jerk is coming, jerk. If 4 people are holding and one is walking slowly and other 3 are walking quickly, then what will happen? Because of the lagging, so there will be jerk. Whoever is sitting in the palanquin, he will feel jerk. Why he is lagging actually? Suddenly he lags, he stops himself. So Jadabharata is stopping his walking. Why? He is seeing the different ants on the earth and seeing the Lord in all those ants. And he cannot put his leg on those. And that's why he is carefully putting his feet on the ground. So that other living entities cannot be hurted, which are the shelter for the Lord. That means which are nothing but the body for the Lord. He's seeing like that. And then anyway, Rahugana was scolding him. That's another story. So there are several examples we'll be going to see. So from the Bhagavatam. Ittameva Sri Vrajadevi Bhir Uktam. Vrajadevatas. Vrajadevis. Gopis. They are the Devis, the damsels of Vraja. Vrajadevi Bhi Uktam. What they said in 10th canto, 35th chapter, 9th sloka. Vanalatastarava Atmani Vishnum Venjayanta Iva Pushpafaladhyaha. 10:35. So Yugala Gita. 10:35, 9. Here Vanalataha. So all these Vrajava gopis, they are seeing the plants which are fully filled with the flowers and fruits. Because of the weight of the fruits and flowers and so on, so they all bending and touching the ground. Even me, if they see those trees, we immediately think that, wow, nice fruits. And because of fruits, the weightness of the branches are increased, and that's why tree is bending. All the small branches, everything is so fully fruits actually. And that's a whole tree is looking like bending on the and touching the ground. But how the gopis are seeing, that means Uttam Bhakta means in living and non-living, in all those objects, so they see the Lord. And these gopis are seeing the Vishnu, that means Krishna. Atmani Vishnu, that means they are saying them among themselves, oh, see these trees, in their heart, Lord is there. And they kept Lord in their heart. And because of that, so they are bending and they are paying obeisances to the Lord. Atmani Vishnum Venjayanta Iva Pushpafaladhyaha. So that means you can take like this. One tree is there and another tree is also seeing. So in this tree there is a Lord and let me pay obeisances. And that tree, in that tree heart also this tree is seeing the Lord and it is paying obeisances. Like that, all the trees are bending and paying obeisances. Actually, gopis they are seeing and they are thinking the same thing is happening to those trees also. This is an important point. That means whatever the way they think, that means actually Uttam Bhakta they see. And he sees the Vishnu everywhere. And also, it is also possible Uttam Bhakta thinks like him also, like him only, all others also. That means even they are not devotees. He thinks that if someone is paying obeisances to the something, he thinks that, oh, he is seeing the Vishnu in that person and that's why he is paying obeisances. పచ్చ కామర్లుడికి అంతా పచ్చగా కనపడిద్దంట. That means, what is this meaning? పచ్చ కామెర్లోడికి అంత పచ్చగానే కనపడిద్ది. Actually, it's a Telugu proverb actually. I don't know in Hindi. Like that, if he is mad with the love of the Lord, and he thinks that everyone is also like that. And that's why they are also thinking, oh, these trees are paying obeisances to other trees because they are seeing the Vishnu in them. So that meaning also we can take from this sloka actually. That I will show immediately after some time. Just now. So that means yadva atmanah yah bhagavati bhavah prema tameva chetana achetaneshu bhuteshu pashyati. What it mean? So you can take two different meanings. I will write and show. You take this. First line is what? If you make the anvaya of the first line, yaha, come with the here. Yaha, or otherwise 1 second. We'll take this there. Oh. बड़ा फोटो ही ले रहे. So anvaya, if you do like this, yaha sarvabhuteshu atmanah bhagavad bhavam पश्येत. इसका अर्थ यह मीन्स the one who sarvabhuteshu means in all living entities. Pashyet means sees. The one who in all living entities sees. What? Atmanah means own. Bhagavad bhava means own liking. Atmanah means own liking. Bhagavad bhava means so Lord's form. This is the one meaning. And the second meaning is, so what today second meaning is the one who in all living entities, on living and non-living, you should take in all living and non-living. Sarvabhutesh means living and non-living. Living and non-living sees what? Own Bhagavad bhavam. Own what? Here own own Bhagavad bhavam means own love. What he has for Lord. That means on love what he has for Lord. That means he is seeing the same love in the other living entities also. Whatever love he is having towards the Lord, that kind of same love he is seeing in other living entities also. So that's why here this tree is seeing the Vishnu, like how he is seeing the Krishna in every living entities. Similarly, the tree also seeing the same way Krishna in other trees, and it is paying obeisances. So that is the thing. अतएव भक्त रूप तद अधिष्ठान बुद्धि जात भक्त्या तानि नमस्करोति इति. So that's why bhakta rupa tad adhisthana. So now second line is what? In the meaning of second line. Second line means one sees. That means the one sees in his heart, in his own heart. This is a heart actually, okay? In his heart, what he is seeing? He is seeing the living entities, all the entities, living and non-living entities. Living and non-living entities. What? He is seeing non-living entities as sheltered in Lord. And this is the second meaning of second line. This is. And if you take once again first meaning of the first line, he is seeing what? He is seeing the all living entities. So he is seeing in all living entities. So Lord's form. So that's why he is paying obeisances. So that is the thing. Actually, Kavi is also saying, na, pranamet. By seeing all the different objects, animated, inanimated, he pay obeisances. Kavi is saying. So that is suitable to, that is that activity, that is anubhava otherwise. So that is indicating what kind of consciousness? That means this devotee, the devotee is seeing the Lord in the heart, in the Lord, sorry, Lord in those all living entities. Okay, next. Tathaiva cha uktam tabir. So even you can take the more examples. So like seeing, that means devotees, that means Uttama Bhakta see the same kind of love, whatever he is having towards the Lord in the other living and non-living entities also. In non-living entities also, in living entities, if we see it's okay. That means trees are having the love towards the Krishna, okay. That means tree is seeing the, so Krishna in another tree. At least this is reasonable because tree is a living entity, somehow it is, so managing that, so feeling the Krishna in another trees. Are seeing the Krishna in another trees. So now how in the, so this devotee, this Uttama Bhakta, he is seeing, so same prema, whatever he is having, that kind of prema is there in the non-living entities also. How non-living entities can have prema towards the Lord? It's completely illogical, no? For us, but not for them actually. It's not illogical for them. They see, that means even non-living entities also having the love towards the Lord. Example is given there. What is that? Nadyastada tadupadarya mukunda gita mavarta lakshita manobhava bhagna vegaha. So when Krishna is playing flute, the river, the Yamuna, water in the Yamuna is flowing, and Krishna is, when he is putting his feet in the Yamuna, so generally if anyone put the feet in the river or water flow, immediately then water will start circulating. This obviously will happen. Or otherwise, whenever the water flows, sometimes Sudigundam, whirlpools. So whirlpools happens and water keep on rotating there only. In now so we can see these are all in the rainy season actually. Whirlpools in villages, in the rivers. It's obvious. But these gopis, by seeing these whirlpools, or otherwise when Krishna put his feet, lotus feet in the water, so they think that, oh, Mukunda Geetam Avarta Lakshita Mano Bhagna Vegaha. This water is hearing the sweet sound from the flute, and they are so captivated, and now they stopped flowing. Their Vega, Bhagna Vega. That means their speed is completely collapsed. And they have so much love than us. They are more, that means, loving Krishna than us. What our life is waste. And like that, they keep on blaming themselves. Or otherwise, they think that, so these trees, this water is so greedy and is making pradakshina, circumambulation towards the feet of the Lord. So much love. Actually, if you see in the 29th chapter, that means when Krishna disappeared suddenly in that Rasa Panchadhyaya beginning. So it's a wonderful, actually, it's a 29th chapter. You can see that gopis are searching. 29 or 30, I think 30th chapter. Gopis started searching for the Krishna. And they keep on, that means, so feeling these kind of things very much. So that means according to the material world, that means who are the so-called rational person, so he cannot understand these things. For him, it will look like a mad things. So there is one more example actually, Sri Patta Mahishi Bir Api. That means these queens of the Dwarika. So they were playing in the water with the Lord. Then after that, so Krishna left them, and then they were hearing the cuckoo's bird, so sound. It cry like differently actually because of the separation. Night time they will be separate, and daytime they will together, female and male birds. And whole night they will be keep on shouting. So by seeing that shouting of that bird, they are thinking that, oh, this bird is also having so much love for Krishna, and because of separation from him, it's crying. And this bird is more better than us. That means the same love, whatever they have, they see in every entity, irrespective of whether it is living or non-living. That is the consciousness level of them. So now here, we have to understand here, Atra na brahmagnan abhidhiyate. What can we take here? Havi's words, that means Sarva Bhutesh Yaha Pashyet Bhagavat Bhavam Atmanaha. The one who sees the Bhagavat Bhavam in every living entity or non-living entity. So can we take this is a symptom of the Brahmagnani? So because you can see Advaitins, if they write the commentary on these kind of slokas, they will try to establish it is describing, or it is a symptom of the Brahmagnani. Because they want to establish that as the highest. But here, Jiva Goswami is rejecting this. Now you have to use the logics. So logical explanation comes now. So Atra na Brahmagnani abhidhiyate. By this sloka, Brahmagnani is not said actually. Bhagavaitaihi tasnanasya tatfalasya cha heyatvena jiva bhagavat vibhaga abhavena cha bhagavatatva virodhat. So that means because of Brahmagnana, that means seeing the Brahman. So here the point is, so seeing the Brahman in everywhere, so that's why they are these devotees. Here it is said the Bhagavatottamaha. This Bhagavatottama is having the Brahmagnana, and that's why he is so feeling this. That means is he see Brahman everywhere? That's the point actually. So one may say, one will do, actually Advaitin's point is, you have to know the background actually. Advaitins also, they do devotion. They do Vishnu Upasana. Very extensive Upasana they also do. They also, along with that, they practice. So, Advaita Gnanam. That means Advai Gnanam. That's nothing but about the Brahman, they study Upanishads and they try to cultivate that knowledge and understand everything as one based upon the Upanishads. So they will be keep on practicing that sadhana also, and also they do Upasana. So that's why you can say one way they are also like looking like devotees. And in the perfection stage, what they do? So their perfection is what they see. They want to see the Brahman everywhere. So is it like that here also? So here this devotee is aimed at Brahmanandam, and now he is able to see the Brahman, and that's why he is so that is the thing is described here. That means the devotee is seeing the Brahman. So can we take like this? So now Jiva Goswami is clarifying, no, this is not. Bhagavatottamaha, that means the pure devotee or otherwise the Uttama Bhakta will never like Brahmagnanam or otherwise the result of the Brahmagnanam. That means Brahman realization. By result of the Brahmagnanam is what? Brahman realization. He never like this because these are all very cheap. So these are all very cheap. Jiva Bhagavat Vibhaga Abhavena Cha Bhagavatatva Virodhat. So if one who is devotee and he is Uttama devotee, you are saying, and he is seeing the Brahman, and here the seeing the Brahman is the point. In the sloka, Bhagavatottva means the one who sees the Brahman everywhere, and one he sees the everything as one, then he is known as Bhagavatottama. If you take like this, it is wrong. It is illogical. Because Bhagavata Uttamaha, that means the best among the devotees, he never likes the first of all Brahmagnanam or otherwise the result of the Brahmagnanam, and also he never likes to be one with the Lord. He never likes non-difference between the Lord and himself, Jiva. It is against the Bhagavatattvam. It is against the devoteeness. Here, so Havi is saying, whoever is seeing like this, he is the Bhagavatottama. He is not saying the Brahmanandi. And being a Bhagavatottama, how he can see the non-difference between the Jivatma and the Brahman? Non-difference between the Jivatma and the Bhagavan, how he can see this? If we see, then how he can be Bhagavatottama? So that's why if you derive the wrongly, that means here Bhagavatottama means the one who sees the non-difference between the Lord and the Jiva, then that is wrong. So because Bhagavatottama never likes that. But Mayavadis, one do the bhakti and see the non-difference between the Jiva and the Brahman. This is wrong. This is wrong philosophy. Next, Bhagavatatva Virodhat. Next, Ahaitu Kavyavahita Ityadika Tyantika Bhakti Lakshananusarena Sutaram Uttamatva Virodhacha. So, for example, if you see, Bhagavatottama means the one who sees the Brahman everywhere. and the one who sees no difference between any entities. Like in the Bhagavad Gita, we have seen, na? What do we have seen? He will never see the difference between the Sunichena, so Swapakena. That means no, he never sees the difference between the dog and dog eater and elephant and the Chandala and the Brahmana. Who is said there? Brahmanandi. That means the one who is the Gnani. There the Gnani description is done. So similarly, even the devotee also will see the same way. Can we take like this here also? Because he is seeing everything in the Lord and everything, Lord in everything, everywhere. That means Lord means, can you take he is a Brahman, and that means he is seeing everywhere Brahman. Can we take like this here also? No. If he is taking like that, if we take like this, Uttama Bhagavat means what? He has to be always in the devotional platform. That means he has to do always devotion to the Lord. Anukulyani Krishna Anusilanam. That means Sanyabhilasha Sunyam Gnana Karma Janavrutam. Based upon this, bhakti means what? Ahaituki apratihata. That means bhakti, even if for a moment, even for a second, he will not stop doing the service to the Lord in the form of hearing, chanting, remembering, or thinking anything, or paying obeisances. So that kind of activities, even if for a moment he is not stopping. And now if you say this Bhagavatottama he sees the Brahmanandam everywhere, Brahman everywhere, then he is not doing the devotion now. And which is against the definition of so bhakti, Uttama bhakti. Bhagavatottama means you will be doing the Uttama bhakti. And Uttama bhakti definition means there is no stoppage, there is no break. Gnana karma dhyanavrtam. So that means the devotional activity is not interrupted by the anything, karma or gnana or anything other than the direct devotion. So anything should not be interrupting. So now if you say here Bhagavatottama means the one who sees Brahman everywhere, then that seeing Brahman is not devotion and that will be stopping. So the interrupting, then the definition of the Uttama Bhakti is broken. Then that Uttama Bhagavata being Uttama Bhagavata, he will be doing the Uttama Bhakti. So it is against that kind of meaning. If you take, there is against the definition of the Bhakti. Okay? समझ में आया या नहीं ये पॉइंट? इस श्लोक से by this sloka we cannot take that Bhagavatottama sees Brahman everywhere. That we have to establish. It's clear for all of you? नींद आ रहा है? Is it clear? Manjari Prabhu is clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
More or less clear, but still, yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, not quite clear, Prabhu.
कुछ लोगों को क्लियर हो गया, कुछ लोगों को क्लियर नहीं. Brahmagyani sees everywhere what? Brahman. Here now in the present sloka 11.2 point, what is that? So 45. In this also Uttama Bhagavat sees Brahman everywhere. So this meaning if you take, that means yaha sarva, that means sarveshu bhuteshu yaha pashyet. So bhagavad bhavam atmanaha, that means if you take the meaning of this, bhagavad bhava means Brahman. So Uttama Bhakta sees Brahman everywhere. Can we take like that? Uttama Bhakta sees Brahman everywhere. Everyone means all living entities, all entities, all living and non-living entities, all living and non-living entities. Can we take, that means Uttama Bhagavad sees from the first line of that sloka, can we take like this? Uttama Bhagavad sees Brahman. Bhagavad Bhava means Brahman. Bhava means Brahman. That means Uttama Bhagavad sees Brahman everywhere. Can we take like this? We cannot take like this. We cannot. We cannot. The reasons are, reason one, Uttama Bhagavat never likes what? First of all, Brahma Gnanam or otherwise its result. Its result. That means he feel it is, never likes means he feel it is a tucha, is a cheap. It is a cheap pleasure. That means he is not bhukti mukti. So he is not at all so interested in the bhukti or otherwise mukti. Mukti means so Brahmanandam. Second point. That means never likes her, he treats it as a cheap. Uttam Bhagavat treats Brahmanandam as a cheap. Treats Brahma Gnanam and its result as cheap. Second point is, if Uttam Bhagavat sees bhakti is ahaituki apratihata. Uttam Bhagavat does what? Uninterrupted devotion. Ahaituki and apratihata, uninterrupted. He does uninterrupted service to the Lord. Service to the Lord. So now, being Uttama Bhagavata, he will be doing the uninterrupted bhakti to the Lord. So, if you say Uttama Bhagavata sees Brahman in living everywhere, so then that interrupts. So, seeing Brahman everywhere interrupts bhakti. Interrupts the bhakti. That means, what is the proof? Bhakti should not be interrupted actually. So, Gnana Karma Jnanavritam. So that means karma and gnana should not be interrupting. So bhakti. That is the definition of the pure devotion. So that's why according to the pure devotion, bhakti should not be interrupted by the karma and gnana. Gnana means here Brahma Gnana. So now you are saying this devotee is seeing the Brahman, so then it is against the Uttama Bhakti. So it is against the Uttama Bhaktatvam. So that's why you cannot take that here. You cannot take here that. So Uttama Bhakta sees Brahman. Okay. Next. Also, you can see Nacha Nirakara Ishvara Gnanam. You can also, here also you cannot take Nirakara Ishvara. Nirakara Ishvara. Nirakara Ishvara. Ishvara, but without the form. It's like a kind of Brahman only. Nirakara Ishvara. Ishvara who doesn't have any form. So you cannot take. So because if you see in the sequence of these slokas, which are describing the Uttama Bhagavata, so Uttama Bhagavata is tying the lotus feet of the Lord with the ropes of his love. That kind of description you are going to see in the coming sloka. So that's why if Lord is not having any akara, so then how we cannot take the Nirakara Ishvara form here. Ishvara here. That means Bhagavad Bhava means seeing the Nirakara Ishvara in everywhere. So that kind of thing also you cannot take. Because in the series of the slokas, we hear Uttama Bhakta and Uttama Bhagavat ties the lotus feet of the Lord with the ropes of love. If Lord is not having any Nirakara and there is no feet, and how he can tie? It's not possible. So that's why that meaning also you cannot take. So these are the various symptoms, the various points we are hearing about the Uttama Bhakta, and here we should not take. So either Brahmagnanam or otherwise, or Brahman, seeing the Brahman, or otherwise Nirakara Ishvara. Anything is not possible. So next, Madhyama Bhakta, we are going to see what is the consciousness of the Madhyama Bhakta. So that also we should discuss. Next sloka, 11 to 46. Ishvare tadadhineshu balisheshu dvishashu cha prema maitri krupopeksha yah karoti sah madhyamah. Yah karoti sah madhyamah. Madhyam Bhakta definition. What is the definition here? It is saying he is seeing the, so prema in Ishvara, he is having, he not seeing, he is doing. Actually, karoti means doing. So cursor is visible. He is doing prema in Ishvara. He is doing the maitri towards the devotees. He is having the krupa towards the balisha. Balisha means innocent people who doesn't know the bhakti. Upeksha dishatsu. That means whoever is having the dvesha and towards them. Dvesha towards whom? Dvesha is possible here. They may having the dvesha towards him, or otherwise they might be having the dvesha towards the devotees, or they might be having the dvesha towards the Lord. So that's why we have to deal these three cases. Dvesha towards that devotee. That means someone may have dvesha towards the devotee, dvesha towards the Lord, or dvesha towards the other devotees. So then how he will deal in these three cases? Dvesha case. Dvesha is having three cases. So that also we should discuss. Okay, we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. Any questions? So class is over. Questions or comments? Padmavati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, in the last, you have told that the Uttam Adhikari is seeing Brahman everywhere. So this is not actually bhakti. So you mean to say because this is not so because he sees Krishna everywhere?
Krishna?
Everywhere, in every
Yeah, he
entity.
sees his Ishta.
Okay.
Maybe he is a worshipper of the Varaha, then you will see everywhere Varaha Bhagavan. If he is a worshipper of the Narsinga Deva, and he will see everywhere Narsinga. If he is a worshipper of Krishna, then you will see Krishna everywhere. Like example is, so I forgot to mention this, Bhishma Dev, so about to leave his body, and he is a devotee of Krishna. He was seeing the Krishna, not the Paramatma in everyone's heart. The Krishna who is standing in front of, see, two things are happening simultaneously. Krishna in his beautiful form is also standing in front of his external eyes.
Yes.
And he is seeing that Krishna, and also he is seeing the same Krishna in Yudhishthira Maharaj and other kings and others members who are there, in all of their hearts, he is seeing the same Krishna whom he is seeing in his eyes, in front of his eyes. So that means what it is established here. So devotee will see Swabhishta Bhagavat Rupa, Bhagavad Avirbhava. उनको
So
जो
Krishna
पसंद
means
है ना, उनका जो पसंद माने उन्होंने जिसका उपासना किया है वही देखते हैं सब में. ठीक है, मंजारे प्रभु.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
प्रणाम प्रभु.
11.245, 11.2.45. Then how, because you said that we cannot see that Uttam Bhagavata doesn't see Brahman everywhere, we cannot take that, we cannot take that.
उत्तम भक्ता, can you repeat?
Uttam Bhakta sees Brahman everywhere. Like, so we cannot take that sentence basically because it is contradicting the definition of
उत्तम भक्ति.
Uttam Bhakti.
Yes.
So what is the meaning of that shloka, sir? How can we take that shloka?
So actually in the sloka what is there? In our Sarva Bhuteshu Yaha Pashyet Bhagavad Bhavam Atmanaha. Okay, this is the meaning, this is the sloka or not? What sloka we are discussing? We are discussing. So first of all, we should know what sloka we are discussing. Sarva Bhuteshu. This is the 45 years. In that first line, what is saying? Sarva Bhuteshu Yaha Pashyet Bhagavad Bhavam Atmanaha. Someone may take someone Advaitins or someone Purupakshis may say that Uttama Bhakta sees Brahman in everywhere, in all the entities, living and non-living entities. But this is not correct. This is not right. This is wrong. This kind of interpretation is wrong. Who is saying? Jiva Goswami is saying. On what basis he is saying? You are saying one side Uttama Bhakta. That means best Bhakta you are saying, not the best Gnani. Uttama Bhakta you are saying. That means Uttama Bhakta does the Uttama Bhakti. That means he do Bhakti, Seva, 24 hours, uninterrupted service. Uninterrupted. Uninterrupted means it should not be stopped by non-devotional activities. Non-devotional activities example are what? Karma, Gnana, Sankhya, Yoga. These are all non-devotional activities. So Uttam Bhakta will not stop his bhakti by these kind of activities. So if you say here Uttam Bhakta sees Brahman, seeing Brahman is not a devotion. It's the activity of the Gnana. So then it is stopping continuous bhakti. That means you are saying one side Bhagavatottama. Bhagavatottama means you should do continuous bhakti, and now you are taking Bhagavatottama, you will be seeing the Brahman. Then it is contradictory. Is clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So Ravindra Sachiputra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for again for that beautiful class. Prabhuji, 2-3 points. One is that you said trees are also seeing Lord Vishnu. Trees are also seeing Lord Vishnu in other trees, and they are paying obeisance to those other trees. Now, of course, these trees are all in Vrindavan, so these have to be all personification. That means conscious trees. These have to be. So now, can we say that these trees who are seeing Lord Vishnu in other trees, they are also Uttam Adhikari? Can we say whether these trees who are seeing the other trees and paying obeisances, are these trees are also Uttam Adhikari because they are in Vrindavan? So in Vrindavan, everything is conscious and everyone is Uttam Bhakta. So then these trees are also to be Uttam Bhaktas. Can we say like that?
Uttamadhikari sees them as Uttamadhikari.
That way. So I wanted to confirm this point.
But
Uttam Adhikari
Madhyamadhikari will see in differently.
No, that is all right. But is this point correct? What I'm saying?
Yeah. Uttamadhikari sees Uttamadhikari as
Yeah.
Uttamadhikari.
Yeah, but that means the trees are also Uttam Adhikari na, by themselves. Because they are conscious trees, na? They are all in Vrindavan. Na? So Vrindavan mein kaun jayenge? Uttam Bhaktas hi jayenge. Na? So can we say like that? This is the question. This is my query, Prabhuji.
So Prabhupada says there are the monkeys in Vrindavan.
Mhm.
In previous life, they are doing the sadhana, but they got attraction to the sex and they became monkeys in Vrindavan now.
Okay. And next life they'll become lot of, we go to Vishnu. They are all Vishnu forms. The
Like that
monkeys.
he says.
Yeah.
Then how to reconcile them? If we take everything like that.
So we cannot say, you mean.
Yeah.
Okay. My next point is, Prabhuji, you said that about that Uttam Adhikari, he sees living entity, non-living entity, and all that. You said in many times, and you today. And you also said that non-living entities can also have prema for the Lord. And then
They
you
see-
said,
They
Yeah.
see the same prema, whatever they have, even in the non-living entity also, they see the same prema towards the Lord in the non-living entities also.
Achha, so they themselves do not have prema, non-living.
They themselves don't have.
Because
but
they don't
these-
have a heart, that is why.
Don't have. They are inanimated.
Jada.
They are jada. So, but
that-
these the devotees, this Uttam Bhakta sees actually like that.
Achha, so the non-living entities are jada, they do not have a heart, but they see others like that. But then when they don't have a heart, how can they see others? We are
No.
Okay.
Non-living entities are not seeing. This devotee, Uttam Bhakta, is seeing the prema, whatever he is having. So that same kind of prema is there in those non-living entities also towards the Lord.
Achha, that way. This is his perception.
That means मैं जैसा प्रेम कर रहा हूँ वैसा ये पत्थर भी प्रेम कर रहा है भगवान.
Okay, so now it is clear. पत्थर प्रेम कर रहा है, लेकिन पत्थर के पास खुद प्रेम नहीं है.
नहीं, पत्थर के पास खुद प्रेम नहीं, लेकिन ये लोग ऐसा देखते हैं पत्थर भी मेरे से बड़ा भक्त है.
पत्थर भी मेरे से बड़ा पत्थर है. Okay, yeah, correct.
पत्थर भी मेरे से बड़ा भक्त है. बड़ा पत्थर.
बड़ा भक्त है. Sorry, बड़ा भक्त है. Very nice.
भक्त.
Yeah, bhakta. Last point, Prabhuji. Last point. This is interesting. Last point. Vishwadev seeing Krishna seeing Krishna directly, also direct perception because he was standing in front of him, and seeing Krishna in the heart of others also. So when we say this phrase, seeing Krishna in the heart of others, when we say this phrase, and we have used it many times in many places, what do you exactly mean that seeing Krishna in the heart of other person? Seeing Paramatma. What do you mean seeing in the heart? Means you see the whole form as Krishna of that person?
No. He's seeing as it is Krishna there. He's not seeing the Karnanu Sai Vishnu there. Sorry, Kshirodak Sai Vishnu. He's not seeing the Paramatma there. He is seeing Krishna.
So what do you mean by the definition of seeing Krishna? Does the whole form, the whole body looks like Krishna? Or does it mean that uske heart ke andar Krishna hai? What is it? What does the word see means? S-E-E.
Experiencing. That means seeing is experiencing. So
Yes.
like you are seeing the movie, you are experiencing or not. That means experience means it's not that the only we do anything done by the five senses is known as experience. Like experience means all the time we think that experience means it is like you are seeing the beautiful flowers on the tree. So it's nothing but here by using these direct senses, so gross senses, whatever the grasping we are doing, sense objects. That means we are experiencing that flowers with the eyes. You can experience those flowers with the nose also when you smell it. And you can experience those flowers with the skin also when you touch. So that's why these are all experience only. Seeing, smelling, and touching. These three are the three different experiences through three different senses. Many times in our society, we have misconception that experiencing that flower means, I should pluck it and so smell it, then only experiencing. No, that is also experience. through the nose, but there is one more experience through the eyes also. You are seeing the beauty of that. It is also experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, so these Bhishmadev is seeing the Lord. That means he's experiencing the Lord. Seeing the flower is experiencing or not?
Yes. Yes. You explained us the mechanism of
Yeah.
perception yesterday. Yeah.
Yes.
Hare. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the answers.
Hare Krishna. Roshan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So it was nice hearing you. So
Okay. Any questions? Nothing.
no, I'm still going through this. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu. Sundar Gopal Prabhu.
Thank
Yeah, yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Very wonderful, deep insight into this subject matter. My question is, Prabhu, I'm just wondering and curious that a devotee after perfection, when he attains the spiritual world and the service of the Lord, can that devotee simultaneously serve in multiple rasas like Sakhya, Madhurya, Vatsalya, like that at the same time? Is it possible, that kind of perfection, or it is only one particular rasas a devotee can serve?
Yeah, Rasa Vichara, the science of the Rasa, so will not allow this kind of things. So that is possible with the Lord. He is reciprocating. But for these, so lovers, so we are all the energy, and he is the energetic. So we have only fixed, but we can serve in a multiple instance. That means simultaneously we can be in the multiple places. That means being a Parshada, you can be spiritual world, and also you can be in the direct Leela simultaneously. But being in the same rasa, but not in the different.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So Anand Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and Pranam. Prabhuji, as we were discussing, like,
Yes, Prabhu.
about seeing Lord everywhere, it's like Vasudevam Sarvamiti.
That is different. So seeing the Lord everywhere, it doesn't mean that he has to love the Lord. He has to develop some relationship. In the Santaras also one see Lord everywhere. So, but they don't have any Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, or the Madhurya type of relationship. So here seeing the Lord means, here these Uttam Bhaktas, not just seeing the Lord like a Santarasa will see, even they can see Lord in with the relationship, with their own relationship, what they cultivated actually, as a Dasya, as a lover. Like if you see your lover, you are not simply seeing. Immediately in the next moment, you will be getting the feelings also or not. In the Santarasa, those will not be there. Just they say everywhere, Lord. But here gopis, if they see Lord, and immediately they'll be connected with their relationship also with that. Yes?
Yeah, one more question. Like when the Uttamadhikari sees Lord everywhere, then how they behave like Lok Vihar? Because
Like
the Lok Vihar is
mad, like a madman. So they are, like example you take, they fail, their failure actually. In the Asakti stage itself, it start happening. They fail in many, the rational behavior, which is expected by the normal person. So in the society, so that behavior is failed actually in their case. They suddenly they start laughing, and they are sitting in a circle and start laughing. And you'll surprise why he's laughing, because he is seeing the Lord, and along with that Lord, he is seeing some Leela also. And he might be laughing because of that. And he might be sometimes started suddenly crying, and he will not speak with anyone. And sometimes he shout. So like that, what he said here it is said that Vichare Vijalajjaha. And Unmadavat Nrutyati is like a mad. Unmada means madman, like the dancing on the road. And not that madman, he doesn't know how his body, how he's behaving, who is nearby, and what is happening to, what they will think, others will think about me, whether my clothes are properly or not, they are torn or anything, anywhere something is there. He never cares. Like that, this man also. Is Uttam Bhakta also.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Gaurangi Gopi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dhanyavad pranams. Prabhu, I just wanted to ask, Lord Brahma, with that Brahma Vimohana Leela, that when he saw all the cows, calves, the gopas were all forms of Vishnu. So, does the Uttamadhikari see like that? That everyone as Krishna, like how, like Brahma is like experiencing like a Uttamadhikari?
Brahma actually is in Dashrasa. So he is seeing, by Brahmaji's prayers, Krishna felt so bored. Kab chhod dega ye, main chale jaun idhar se. Because Krishna is standing on the stone there, and Brahmaji started glorifying. Because Krishna showed his all opulences. That means number of thousands of Vishnus are standing in front of him. And everyone is coming from him. So like that, all the universes, everything actually. So millions of Vishnus. So they're all because of manifesting from him on. So this disappeared, and then after that Brahmaji started praying. So yeah, every Uttam Bhakta see, but it doesn't mean that everyone should be in the Madhuri Rasa. One can be Dasya also, one can be in the Vatsalya or Sakya and any. Even they also see everywhere Lord. But we according to with their relationship they see. Here Brahmaji also seeing Lord, he is Uttama Bhakta, but he cannot be equated with the gopis or the gopas because his rasa is in the different level, which is very boring for the Krishna. Kind of boring. That means, so in Aishwarya Bhava, if you glorify as a dasya to him, then he may not like it. Like it means he may not like how the gopas with Sakya Bhava he can play and enjoy with the other gopas there, and here Brahmaji is making him to stand and he is glorifying him. You are this, you are the universal creator, and you are like opulence, adding the opulence, and he is glorifying like that. Then how Krishna will feel for this? Oh, what he is making me. Because he likes to be in the Madhuri Rasa with his gopas and playing. So like that.
Yes, Prabhu, thank you. No, to just picturize seeing Krishna everywhere in as everyone, I just remembered this pastime. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Jagan Mohini Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Regarding this Brahman realization by the Uttamadhikari, my doubt is, normally Uttamadhikari, even if they see Brahman, they cannot see it separated from Bhagwan. Okay, so actually when they are seeing Brahman means actually they are seeing when Bhagwan, because Brahman is included within Bhagwan. So how it can be interrupted devotional service when actually they are seeing Brahman as part of Bhagwan and they are not able to see it independent of Bhagwan. So how do we reconcile this point of this, that devotional service get uninterrupted of Brahman realization by the Uttamadhikari?
Acha. See, Mataji, devotees, if they want Brahman realization, Paramatma, if they want to experience, realization means experience. If they want experience, if they want to experience the Brahman or Paramatma or even the Swarga Sukha or anything, Lord is saying in the 11th canto actually. So if anyone, any devotee, if my devotees desire, if they desire, so seeing Brahman or otherwise experiencing Brahman or Paramatma, I will sanction that. But they never desire. That's why Jiva Goswami, what he is saying, Uttama Bhakta will not, oh, okay, let me experience now Brahman. Of course, that Brahman, he knows very clearly it is. So that means Brahmano hi pratishtaham. Krishna is saying, I am the source for Brahman. So there he is clearly saying, and Uttama Bhakta knows this, and he is now trying to see this Heyatvat. Already I said, it's so cheap actually, experiencing Brahman. And the result, Brahma Gnanam and result of the Brahman, for him it's so cheap. So that's why here, Uttama Bhakta, he'll never prefer that option. That already we ruled out. Here, Uttama Bhakta seeing the Brahman, that is we ruled out by the saying, this is so cheap for him and he'll never prefer for that. Okay?
Yeah.
Here,
So Prabhuji, only thing that means when he's seeing Brahman, actually he's seeing Bhagwan. Can we take it that way?
definitely, that is always he is having that connection.
Yeah.
But he will never do that. That we give two reasons. If you forget that, then please remember. We give two reasons. One is, first reason is, so Uttama Bhakta never prefer to experience or they never prefer Brahma Gnanam and its result. That's a Brahman realization. Because they are so cheap.
Okay, we got it.
That
They
is,
don't prefer the result. Yeah, that is fine. Yeah.
that's over then. That's why you cannot take in this sloka at any condition, you cannot take. That means, of course, your argument is now we are making the continuity of the bhakti, but not only continuity, Mataji. So one more point also is there. They should like it, na? Then only it is possible. Then only Lord will give, and they never like it.
Okay.
So that's
Thank
that
you.
any condition you cannot take.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So Priya Radhika Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandvat Pranam.
Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhu. Today's class was very, very nice and deep. I actually don't have a question from today's class, but from yesterday's class.
Yes, Mataji.
And yeah, because you said homework to identify the different devotees. So I was contemplating on that. And I was just thinking that can we draw parallels with Birhad Bhagavatamritam, where
Yes.
Narad Muni's quest for the topmost devotee. And if we look at that, you also mentioned, so if that is the one thing, the second thing is you mentioned that you know, in the two types of nature of prema, the bhajatiya and bhajaniya and bhajataha. So you mentioned that a person who is in Madhurya Ras to Lord Ram and a person who's in Dasya Ras to Krishna, the Dasya that devotee would be higher. Then is that what that's what I understood? Is that what you said? What you meant?
Yes.
And if that's true, then how do we understand that Mother Sita, who's in Madhurya Ras, and a person who's in Dasya Ras to Krishna would be higher than Mother Sita? Is that something, or did you mean something else? Because that's what I understood. You can just clarify that.
Yeah. It's possible actually. The Gopas and Gopis that more dearest actually. So they are in the Sakya and Dashrasa Gopas. Even these, so Lakshmis and all these, Sita and everyone aspire for that. The association of Krishna.
Okay. So then when we are saying Lord Hanuman in Dasya Ras to Lord Ram and Prahlad Maharaj as Dasya Ras to Narsingadev, then are we again keeping them in the same platform, or is Hanuman greater? I mean, how do we understand that then?
Yeah, so we have to see the features manifested in the Narsingha and the features manifested in the Rama, and how many kalas are manifesting and which form is superior. And based upon that, next, so what rasa? So if Dasa is equal, then in Dasha also once again it is in the Madhurya and also it is in the Aishwarya. Once again we have to classify. So, but these more details actually, these rasas classification and subtleties are discussed in the Priti Sandarbha.
Priti Sandarbha.
So,
but Prabhu, then what about the Goswamis, and how do we understand that? Goswamis are, would we take them as Manjaris only? So we don't consider them like they are definitely in what you say, the partials, right?
Madhuri actually. They are
So they are
yeah.
Topmost. Okay.
Yeah.
So they are topmost. So we consider that. So therefore, when we seek association, when you say seek association, so we read their books and see their prayers and all.
Yes.
Then that would be a topmost association. So my understanding is right, is it?
Yes, yes. Because that Madhuri Rasa is the goal. For us also, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, because our Goswami is Rupa Goswami, Ujjwala Nilamani. So this book name, Ujjwala Rasa actually. Ujjwala Rasa means Madhuri Rasa. All Gaudiya Vaishnavas are targeting for that. So we want to serve the Radharani, Srimati Radharani, so being her servant of servant. So that is the goal, not the Dasya Rasa. Because when you do Raganuga stage, when we go, then we will, all other forms and also other forms of the rasa, everything will be rejected and aspiring for this kind of relationship.
So Prabhu, the realization from yesterday's class, what I had was that to put all the energy and kind of concentrating and trying to memorize the prayers and the mood of the Goswamis, as especially Rupa and Raghunath, is what we're supposed to. So it's better to focus on that. Is the realization I was having when I was going through your class again yesterday. So is that a good understanding to have?
No.
No.
Because we have to understand what is our position.
Okay.
Where we are in the bhakti path actually. Whether we are in the Shraddha, or after that we are in the sadhana bhakti, or we are in the already in the ruchi. It should not be so like a random. So we cannot feed for the children the undigestible subject matter, such undigestible food. Correct. So like we are in the we are not in the Shraddha, even that means what is pure devotion? Suddha sadhana bhakti you should know first of all. Suddha sadhana bhakti means anyabilasha sun, not desiring even anything. So other than the serving Krishna. And 24 hours you are able to engage in the direct devotion to the Krishna. So if one is able to do that kind of direct service, able to do 24 hours without any other motivations, even a single motivation should not be there. And that is the beginning of the sadhana bhakti. Why the sadhana bhakti? Why the sadhana bhakti means there Aishwarya Gnana is very much useful. You have to remember Krishna 24 hours. How it is possible? So if you try to remember Krishna as just and yourself as a relationship as a gopi or something manjari, so this is not going to work. It may be half an hour or 10 minutes, but remaining time it's gone. So that's why Aishwarya Gnana you should focus, initially understand actually. That's in the Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter also we see the Lord is, I am saying, so Bhumirapana vayu khammano buddhirevacha. I am everything. I am the water, I am the earth, I am fire. So these are all things, so will be connecting us, our consciousness with the Lord. This connection should keep on happening in the Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. This has to happen. That means continuously, at least one should come to the Nishtha. Nishtha, that means the continuously able to do devotion to the Lord, direct devotion to the Lord continuously. So then he can go to the next higher rasas. That means in the ruchi stage, he can next immediately ruchi will come. There onwards, you can start. So coming to the madhurya. That means madhurya gnana. That means Lord is Gopal and these kind of things we can meditate actually on those things. That's easy. And one who is not in the, at least in the sadhana bhakti, that means Suddha sadhana bhakti is not able to do. That means still he doesn't have dependency on the Lord. He also dependent on his family. That kind of consciousness still is there. And I want this, I want that, and that. So many feeling dependencies and dependent on the body and so many things. For doing bhakti also, you feel that I am my body, I am dependent on my body, I am dependent on so and so, so and so. So that kind of thing is making polluted bhakti, that is. So that means still he is not in the Suddha sadhana bhakti. So then he has to develop this Shraddha. For that he has to study the Bhakti Shastras and their conclusions so very thoroughly. So then develop the surrenderance to the Lord. Then you will come to the Suddha sadhana bhakti. Then after that advanced stage, then you will come to practice the Madhurya Gnana. But that's why, according to the disease, we should take the medicine. So, okay, it's the best medicine, but you have different disease, but you know it's the best medicine. If you take, then it is not going to work. I'm not saying that the bhakti, I'm comparing as it is, that definitely if you remember the gopis and also deaf, but there is an anartha also may come. So, unwanted mental hesitation may come. So that's why carefully under the guidance of the Guru and Sādhu, one has to practice the bhakti.
Very nice. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Lakshmi Narayana.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. A very elaborate session today. Prabhuji, मैं थोड़ा सा I may not be in that position, but मैं how to frame my question, but मुझे थोड़ा सा practical aspects मैं देखना चाह रहा था. I wanted to see the practical aspects that when we know someone is uttam, someone is madhyam, and we may think, okay, I have to associate with him, I have not to associate with him. So it is a kind of discriminatory feeling in myself who is not so elevated or who has not started even the Shuddha sadhana bhakti also. So in a way we might lose respect for someone, and we might respect someone, और उस हिसाब से maybe the association of devotees, like in a congregation, I may start looking at someone, okay, he might be actually the head of the section in our association, so I might lose respect for him or something like that. I hope you understood my question. I have another question also, but this is the first question.
Okay. Apiche sudhiracharo bhajate ma mananyabhak sadhureva samantavya. So what Krishna is saying, so Arjun, even one is durachari, sudurachari, not durachari, sudurachari. Sudurachari means one who do sex with his guru's wife or so and so. So very heinous. So that is known as sudurachara. And if he is doing bhakti, ananya bhakti, one should consider him as sadhu. Sadhureva samantavya. And someone is just to practice. What is the intention of Krishna? He is encouraging this duracharata. Okay, on the name of bhakti, you do more and more sin. No problem. That is the intention of the Krishna saying in this sloka. So no, he is promoting the duracharata. That is the intention? No. His intention is what? His intention is, even if one is because of some kind of ignorance, he is doing the duracharata, but he is surrendered to the Lord, then he has to be respected as sadhu, because Kshipram Bhavati Dharmatma. Very soon he will become very perfect person. Because why he's asking him to see as a sadhu? Because the bhakti he's doing, that bhakti is glorious. What you are thinking, my dear Arjuna? My bhakta, my devotion, do you think it is ordinary thing? This so-called material duracharata, in front of that, can you compare this bhakti? And he's doing bhakti, and you, instead of seeing the positive, you'll see negative and you'll blame him. And this seeing positive negative is not the main point. Here the bhakti. Bhakti is a powerful thing actually. It can change anyone actually. Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma is saying immediately next. So that's why any devotee, anyone is practicing devotion means we have to respect him as a sadhu because of his devotion. And you are saying we may lose respect. Lose respect means it's not a proper state actually of the mind. Not correct. So definitely, so we should respect every devotee.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. And another question is there.
Yeah.
Another question is there. Thank you. So what I understand, we have to take the good and leave the bad.
Not good, bad actually. This is wrong. These derivations, we don't like it. Good, bad is not the material platform.
Okay.
These kind of derivations they do, so-called practical. These are all bogus. Thing is here bhakti.
Okay.
Nothing can be good. Bhakti cannot be equated with the good.
Okay.
And someone is doing good, bad, then we'll be doing the result for the good, bad in that way only. That's a different platform actually. Yeah.
Prabhuji, second question is that you explained that those who are Uttam Adhikari, they have symptoms like Ashtavikar, etc. So they are like bad men. So how to take their association? How do we take their association? I mean, our condition is, worldly condition, and how we just see them, or how do we take their association? Like if at all they are there, yes.
Just dust of their lotus feet should take and put on their head.
Okay. Prabhuji, thank you so much. Okay, I was just contemplating how to associate with them. We cannot understand their activities also.
Yeah. Pradeep Kumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. My question is, when you said Uttama Adhikari or Uttama Bhaktas, the heart is so soft, the crying, trembling, hair on the body standing. Arjuna has exhibited the symptoms on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but was it a symptom of bhakti or is it a sign of a human weakness?
Shudram Hridaya Daurbalyam. Hridaya Durbalata. Because of his attachment towards his family man. So he got the weakness in the heart. Because of that, he got the trembling of his body trembling and hands are shaking.
So how do we differentiate? Because Arjuna is also Uttama Bhakta. And then this sign is common, basically what he was exhibiting as a human weakness, or sometimes as we take it as the Uttama Bhakta is the symptoms. Because
good point. That's why I told. So we cannot identify Uttama Bhakta by our conditioning state. Okay. So that's why another sadhu will be saying. Like we cannot identify the features of the mobile because we are not the manufacturer and we don't have any manufacturing skills or the knowledge. So that's why we cannot, by our own, we cannot understand the qualities of the mobile, but we hear from the others, authentic people.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you.
Yes. Virendra Kumar.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, with reference to this Srimad Bhagavatam sloka 11 to 45,
yes,
where we say Sarva Bhuteshu Yah Pasyet Bhagavad Bhava Atmana.
Yeah.
Can we relate with Bhagavad Gita verse 18.54 where it says Sama Sarvesu Bhutesu Mat Bhaktim Labte Param? Can we relate to?
That is no. That is actually that's a different thing. So the one who practice initially Brahma Gnanam, that means Brahman knowledge, and if they get association or devotees, then they will become the devotee.
Right. Right. And same truth then we can apply to this 13.2 Mam Sarvesu Bhutesu Tishtantam Parmeshwaram. That was also
13.28. 13 point, that is the Gnana he described, na? Initially. All the Gnanangas. The opulence of Gnana he explained. That is for the exactly Gnana Mr. Bhakta or what? I'm not really remembering. Okay, I will tell you. Yeah.
all right. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So what is it?
Namavatar. Hare Krishna.
Namavatar. Yes, for Namavatar. Dandavad Pranam.
Please accept now. Oh, just a query. Are the stages of bhakti can be compared to the modes of nature that varies in the sadhaka from time to time, or these are perfected stages we can reach in this bhakti stages?
So, like you are asking from Sādhu Sangha,
Yes.
Bhajana Kriya Anardhiri with these?
Yes.
Actually, these stages are completely beyond the modes.
Okay.
Because it's a nirguna. But that means these stages belong to the pure devotion. So, pure sadhana bhakti goes till the bhava and prema. These are all the stages of sadhana bhakti of what? Pure sadhana bhakti. Suddha sadhana bhakti.
Yes.
So, where the Suddha sadhana bhakti is, Krishna says in the 11th canto this. 11th canto, so he says, so these are all the beyond the modes. So these all stages. So that's why we cannot classify these based upon the modes. And we can classify these the amount of the purification of the heart. So that is the thing. Because the sadhaka is always in the devotion. Is doing devotion 24 hours. But the purification is keep on going. So based upon the level of purification, these are all done, not based upon the modes, influence of the modes. Because he is always in the till the Nishtha, he is aspiring to do 24 hours devotion, and sometimes he is getting disturbed. But otherwise, so he is always in the devotional consciousness.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Prabhuji, one more is this you told about this bhakta, who is the madness of this bhakta. He's seeing everything in non-living things and living things, like the example of Yamuna water you give, or also in Jad Padarth. So this madness can be also in different rasas, or it is in the perfect one rasa, and then he experiences
in all rasas.
All rasas he can experience this.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Anant Koti Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanand.